I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for taking time out of your day to come spend time and share your story and inspire hope. So, Tyler, I will let you just tell us, who you are, where you're from, how old you are, and let's jump into it.
Yes. Okay. So I'm Tyler DeFrancesco. I'm 21 years old and I got sick, well, noticeably sick around like 2.5 years ago. But I guess after being in this program, like can look back my whole life and notice the hypersensitive nervous system patterns. So yeah, should I go into my story a bit of how
Yeah.
how everything
Yeah,
happened?
well, let's jump into it. Yeah, I was gonna say so that was like the perfect kind of like transition into it of so tell me kind of where did this start? What did life look like before you started to develop these really intense symptoms or before you knew, I don't know, when you started to know something was going on, right? You were maybe in nursing school at that time, or tell me a little bit about your story.
Yes. So I was in nursing school. I just graduated uni, and I like before CFS and POTS and all that. I lived a great life. Like I was a party animal. I went out, or I was always out with my friends. I studied really hard. I worked a few jobs. I was active. I worked out every day. I was always out of the house, and I started to notice symptoms after I got vaccinated for nursing because for my placements I had to get a lot of vaccines, and there was a situation where I did get a vax injury because I accidentally got like double dosed with one of them when he was meant to give me two different ones. So he gave me one on top of that, and then the flu vax, and then the like all different vaccines just got
Wow.
injected in, and I didn't think anything of it. But after I started getting just random panic attacks, and like I wasn't the same after that. Like I had to sit down at work. I just random, like I got random rashes, and I just felt something was off, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was um, until I got COVID a couple months later. And I had COVID before, but this was much different. I was out for like 9 weeks. It was my first real crash. And I kind of blamed it on the COVID. Like I was probably couchbound, bedbound for that time. And I actually had a few friends who had POTS, and I was messaging them like my symptoms, and they're like, "Girl, you have POTS," and I was like, mm-mm. No, I do not. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I started freaking out. I started tracking. I was crawling around the house. Like, my symptoms were pretty bad. But again, I blamed it on the COVID. I saw a couple doctors and they said the same thing. But then I magically got better. And then I guess the cycles of the crashes kept on happening. So that's kind of how it started. I have more to say with that. And then I got better miraculously for like 5 weeks, and I was like the worst is behind me. I'm so brave. I went through such a tough time, and then I got a new job. I was back at uni partying again, and at the new job, I got another vaccine for the new job. And I got there and I felt way worse than I've ever felt. My heart rate was probably sitting at 200, just
Wow.
baseline. And I was like holding onto the walls trying to walk. But me being a people pleaser and a perfectionist, I was like, I cannot let these people know that I'm feeling sick. Like they just hired me. I need to like act like, really professional and like do a really good job, impress them. So I like put my own health on the back burner and I kept working. And I even remember like I went into a patient's room and I was doing her obs, and her heart rate was like 130. And I was like, oh, like that's a bit high for you. And she's like, oh, don't worry, love, it's heart failure. And I'm just like, I think I need to go to the doctor. Um, so yeah, and I like was doing my heart rate. It was like 200, and I was in so much pain. But again, I just kept working, and then I actually had to stop. And after that was when all the test, like the doctor's test came. And I was like, I need to figure out what this is. And I got all the stress tests, went to see all the cardiologists, and I got diagnosed with POTS. Pretty obvious. And I basically was like, when am I going to get better? And the answer was, how long's a piece of string? We don't know. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do? So I got put on beta blockers and heart failure meds, actually, ironically. And off I went. I got on the meds, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling good, back to, happiness, whatever. And then came an even worse crash because I had a 10-week placement for nursing, and I just got stable again. And
Wow.
yeah, that was the worst 10 weeks of my life. So we can get into that as well. So
Wow.
yeah.
So at this point, the tests aren't showing much. Doctors are saying it's POTS, but I loved your analogy of like we don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea what this is or how long this is going to last or what that's even going to look like.
Mhm.
So, yeah, what was that experience like, and what was it like also working in nursing, in healthcare, while you yourself are navigating these wild pendulum swings in your health?
Yeah. Well, basically, I got told like you have to keep working. If you stop, then your body will get used to it. And like, have you worked out? Have you tried working out? And I was like, okay, so clearly I am normal, but I did not feel normal at all. So on the placement, I was like, I literally had to do it to graduate, and all the doctors were telling me that I had to do it. So I was like, okay, let's go. And it was the symptoms. I got worse every day. Also, the nursing environment was so brutal. I got massively bullied by the nurses because they just did not understand what was going on, and that, like, why was I being like a princess, or like they called me lazy. I made a plan with like the uni to be able to have a chair with me, just in case if I felt dizzy, because nurses don't sit down. Um, and they hid the chair from me, and yeah, it was not fun. They were so mean about it. And during that time, like, I was genuinely so sick. Like, I was doing my obs myself, like every day, and my heart rate was through the roof. My blood
Wow.
pressure was so low because of the beta blockers that I had to drink a whole like tube of Hydrolite a day to get
Wow.
my blood pressure up. It was like 75 and 40. Um, I also, my oxygen was super low. Like, I had to purse lip breathe, like, to get my oxygen up. And basically, I just thought I was dying every day. And, seeing patients die from the exact symptoms I had each day, the thoughts that were going through my mind were just like, I'm not making it out of here. Like, this is like, why is it when a patient has these symptoms, they get all the help, and then when I say, hey, I have the exact same symptoms, it's like, oh yeah, you're like, you're a princess. So it was horrible. I was so numb. I lost my personality. Yeah, I got through the 10 weeks, and I ended up in emergency. And yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like you've had such a journey, and what a wild experience to be on that side of healthcare, to be working with these
Mhm.
other healthcare professionals, having these wild symptoms and seeing your patients go through these things. I
Yeah.
can only imagine just what was going through your mind. So tell us a little bit. So So folks that are listening in, so they can kind of get an idea, like how kind of take us into the trenches a little bit, you know, because you might be listening in and say, okay, well, she was still
Yeah.
able to see patients, she was
Yeah.
pushing through this, but
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like that lasted, right?
No. So, even during that time, I would wake up in the morning and I'd have to crawl. So it was a 10-hour shift. It was full-time work. I would have to crawl and I'd put like makeup on and blush on just to look like I was alive. And it was just the worst morning ever. I had to drink a ton of Hydrolite just to be able to stand. And when I got there, it was just like the adrenaline clicked in and I just went for it. And it was the worst pain ever. And when I get home, I couldn't walk
Wow.
again. After that was obviously a very horrible crash. However, I had, I think, 6 weeks left of uni. So I still, like, in my mind, so I went to ED, sorry. I'm like fast forwarding. I went to ED and basically, obviously there was things wrong with me, but they were like, we can't do anything about them. Like, you're going to have to go get all these MRIs and scans, but that has to be outside the hospital because it would just take too much time here. So I had all these scans and tests to do, plus doing uni. And I basically got bedbound. So I was doing uni bedbound. Like, I was just going to an appointment, going getting my MRI, coming home, and like doing all these massive assignments. And I just did not give myself a break because I just wanted uni to be done. And like after going, if I didn't complete uni, I would have had to do that again, that whole 10-week placement. So I was like, I cannot, like, I will die if I have to do that again. But, like that personality trait of just putting my whole worth in getting a job, I would have done anything for it. And I did. So, and it was not worth it. But yeah, after that whole uni thing, I was pretty much bedbound, couchbound, crawling. I had like my symptoms were like numbness. I couldn't feel the left side of my body, vision problems. I couldn't see out of my left eye. Sometimes I couldn't speak. The pot symptoms were crazy. Um, what else did I have? So memory problems. I lost a lot of my memory. Um, there's so many. Like just yeah. I have a list actually. I could go through. Vertigo.
Wow.
Um, oh, like I couldn't clench my muscles. Just there, yeah. The whole shebang of symptoms that I got, and yeah, then that's when I started investigating all these specialists and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask next. Here you are in nursing school, having this awareness of everything that you're experiencing and what this looks like for other patients, and not really getting any answers from your doctors.
Yeah.
Then what? Then what happens? Where do you try other
Oh,
treatments? Do you
oh,
talk us through that experience?
yeah. So my lucky I had my mum because she was on everything. Like she was Googling, looking at all the specialists, and I went to multiple cardiologists, neurologists, ENTs, functional med doctors, IV clinics, POTS clinics. I tried like acupuncture, chiropractors, physios, um, medications, supplements, um, lots of, yeah, just a lot of specialists. Even I went to a dermatologist because I got no answers. And I even remember like going to a dermatologist and thinking like, hey, like, do you know about like these symptoms? And he was like, no. Like I was just so desperate for answers. And I just like I knew they did mention a hypersensitive nervous system. Actually, one cardiologist he explained it, but he was like, you'll grow out of it. And I was like, okay, I don't even know what that means. Like, well, like, I don't know what to do with that information. But I'm not saying like those treatments haven't worked because I did like a lot of like supplements and all that. And I think that anything would have worked, to be honest, at that point. And they have supported me. However, it was more of like a band-aid to like the root problem, which is what I needed to get at. And CFS recovery is literally what moved um, my recovery. Like it changed my life really. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just we're so desperate for answers, and again, my background's in healthcare too, working as
Mhm.
a physical therapist, and you have almost like a Rolodex in your mind of all these things that could be possibly
Yeah.
going on, but then you're not finding any answers, and even if you get close to the answer, like, I'm so amazed that one of those doctors, one of those cardiologists recognized the nervous
Yeah.
system and that role, but then you're still kinda left, right, with like, "Okay, but then what? But
Yeah.
then what do I do?"
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you went through oh my gosh, you just went through the gamut with that. That
It
just that
did.
just blows me. Yeah, and I know this part of your story is just gonna resonate for so many folks listening in because that's just such the common experience. There's just
Mhm.
not the awareness of what's going on or
Exactly.
any potential solutions.
Yeah. And I felt like just so alone. Like I swore that no one else in the world was going through what I was going through. And like I wish like it was so weird. Like I wished I had bad results. Like I wish there was a tumor in my head. Like it was that I was that desperate for an answer. So yeah, I
Because
guess.
if you feel like yeah, if you get an answer, then at least you can get a treatment. You can get some next steps. You can get support,
Yeah.
right? Instead of this
Yeah.
just kind of floating out there, like, on your own, just trying to
Mm.
piece together this mystery
That's
that's going on with your health.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
so then how did you find CFS recovery? What was that part of the journey like? Like, how did you go from that medical model to getting to the point where you're on the internet, now you're on YouTube? How did that go? Talk to us
Well,
about that.
it wasn't me. So my mum had been sending me you got like your guys' videos for like months and months and months and months. And I was like, sorry, what? Like, that's a scam. I was like, I swear, like this. I thought it was just more about like, oh, positive, think your way out, like, love your symptoms and just live with them. And like, I was like, Mum, like, you don't get it. Like, you don't get it. They don't get it. Like, it's not the same thing. And I got so desperate. Like 4 months ago, it was like a couple of weeks I was like thinking like I cannot live like this for much longer. Like I'm so in so much pain. I've tried everything and I keep on getting worse. I can barely like I just got so sensitive to everything. Walking to the kitchen, like just walking to the bathroom, like everything just became a crash and I genuinely lost all hope. Like I was like I'm not getting better. I'm just going to get worse and I don't think I can live like this for much longer. So then, like a couple of days later, on my YouTube popped up. I think it was a John, his John L's recovery. His video popped up, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched it, and it genuinely, like, I must say, 2 days later, I was in the program, but like, it changed my life. Like that video, like gave me that string of hope and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm not alone. Like someone else has been through the exact same thing and they're better." Like so I was like, I must like I had to admit to my mom that she was right. And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And I jumped on, met Miguel and went for it. So, best decision ever, seriously. Yeah.
What a cool full circle moment too then to be here now, you sharing your story, you giving that string of hope out to others to help light the way. That's so incredible, Tyler. I'm so glad that John's interview reached you. That's amazing. So thank you for bringing that together. Beautiful.
Yes, yes. I know it's crazy. Like I was watching it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe one day I'll be able to make this video like for other people." And like that was my goal. And now that I'm here, I'm like, "Whoa, like 4 months. 4 months I'm making a video." I'm like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, what then for you then, going from that place of skepticism, which is healthy, right? We've been
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
gamut with all this stuff. Like it would be I was the same way. It took me 6 months of kind of watching, sort of almost looking and seeing if I could find anyone else on social media that was doing it. Was it working? I was very skeptical because we've been through just that
Oh,
hamster
yeah,
wheel of all these
yeah.
tests and everything, right?
Mm.
So then when just being about 4 months in, what was, like, the first big shift that you had? Where were you like, "Oh, this is, like, really actually really working for me."
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I want to mention, like, firstly, like, doubt was actually my kryptonite symptom that I recognize in this program because of all the disappointments that happened and just getting worse and being promised that you're going to get better and then, you end up worse. So I really did honestly have a lot of doubt in the program. However, when I learnt the concepts, when I learnt about neuroplasticity, I loved that one. Our joke, we have like this, yeah. Um, and um, I guess the first shift was that symptoms aren't dangerous, that they are actually my body trying to protect me and not try to kill me. And I was like, huh? But like, what do you
Mhm.
mean? What does that mean? So that kind of like having that idea that like, okay, like my symptoms aren't dangerous, and the way I don't need to fix them. I just need to show my body safety. And I guess that was a big shift for me. And also responding well is the classic biggest shift because, and I guess at the start, I was like, what does responding well mean? And I put so much effort into getting it 100% right, being perfect at it. I'd beat myself up. I'd be like, girl, you didn't respond well to this and this and this. And like I would beat myself up. But then I realized throughout the program that responding well is just responding differently. Even if it's 1%, it's still a different response. And that changes everything. That literally builds a new neural pathway. And that's what's going to get me better. So taking that pressure off, I was like, huh, like I just need to, yeah, slowly show my body safety, expand a bit, get back to life, and respond differently to what I would have done to the symptoms.
Yeah. It sounds so simple when we talk about it.
Yeah,
It's not easy. It's not easy to do,
no,
right? Because I remember listening to these interviews, I'm like, "What are these people talking
yeah,
about?"
like,
But
what you mean? Like, yeah, like, yeah.
for you, what was what was responding well? Can you talk about that a little
Mhm.
bit? Like, what were you doing before versus
Yeah,
what did you learn in the program? What, like,
yeah.
shifted for you in terms of, like, what did responding well look like?
Mm. Well, my response was obviously fear before because I thought I was dying. I was Googling, I was immediately on like taking more meds, supplements. I was always trying to fix it. I was trying to fix the symptom because it was dangerous. It wasn't normal. I'd freak out. Obviously, I'd sit down. Yeah, all the thoughts ran in my head, like the stories about the symptoms as well, that this is going to be forever. I remember like I'd just always copy and paste how I felt into every future scenario, and it just
Mhm.
like spiral me down, like I'd never get better. um Whereas now there's no stories. It's just like, oh, like hey there, like if I get a high heart rate, I can like I allow it and I take it with me for whatever like activity I need to do. It's allowed to be there, and I still don't respond 100% like like sometimes I get sad, sometimes I get angry. I'm like, "Ugh, seriously, like I need to do this." But the response is so it's completely different. And it also has been crazy watching my body go from like a fear response automatically to now like it's just my nervous system response, like just automatically. Like it's like that new neural pathway that is just like, oh, like it's okay. Let's like, what do I need? Do I need to grade it out? Do you want to keep going? I guess I have more like compassion for myself and understand that, hey, my body's just trying to protect me. It thinks it's in danger. So let's show it safety. Yeah.
It's just amazing, Tyler, and it's amazing to hear you take responding well, and then you've also used it to kind of deconstruct some of those survival mechanisms. You took some of that pressure off. You left some of that perfectionism off the side, and you
Yeah.
let yourself say, "I don't need to do this perfectly, right? I don't have to approach recovery in this extreme all or nothing behavior that I had before." So in your responding well, you kind of had wrapped up all these other things that were coming together for you.
Yeah.
It's really really incredible to hear how you wove that all together. And I remember the overthinking on some of our early platinum calls.
Yep.
Yep.
That was me.
And
Yes, for
what
sure.
what helped you most to kind of interrupt that loop? Because that was a big one for me too.
Mm.
I remember just the thought spirals, those thought loops, and before you know it, you're kind of hooked in and you're in that spiral. What helped you, for anyone who's listening in, what helped you to kind of get out of that?
I guess just genuinely understanding that those thought loops were the nervous system and it was the nervous system trying to protect me. So I treated those thoughts as symptoms as well and responded well to those thoughts. And that was honestly the biggest shift. Like everything to me is a symptom, and I just got to respond well. Emotions, all the thoughts, it's just my body trying to protect me, and like having compassion for it because like it's doing its job well. Like it's doing its job too well, and just like again teaching it safety, and also like I would always think of the worst case scenario with everything. So Nicole, my coach, she said, "Hey, like instead of all these what ifs, like what if it goes great? What if it like having all those thoughts and making those become that automatic neural pathway loop that now is yeah, it's just changed my whole mindset about it. So yeah, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
quickly at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and it
time.
takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, right? Like, you're constantly
Oh yeah,
reframing or shifting thoughts, especially in those first few weeks and
oh my
maybe even first few months, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to believe, like, when you introduce those new thoughts of like safety and it's just my nervous system, then like your old thoughts are like, no, like, no, it isn't. Like, what are you talking about? I'm dying. Like, give me attention. And then it will give you more symptoms and it will just make you question literally everything. But again, I was like, no, this is just the nervous system. I promise. Like, it's just trying to trick me. And yeah, that's kind of what really I just had. It was a lot of convincing, I must say. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what was it like? What was it like working with Coach Nicole? How did that unfold for you? Was that I don't know, what stood out to you?
Yeah. So working with Nicole has been amazing. I love her. I really resonated with her story a lot. And from the first day we connected, just having someone that has been through the trenches and has gotten out, and then them just to give you the map to be like, hey, this is what I did, and now it's your turn. It was amazing. Like I got along with her so well. She has supported me throughout the whole journey. Like she's just one message away. Like I always feel comfortable because I have her in my back pocket, and just the advice she gives is always so personal and it resonates. And yeah, I couldn't recommend her more for sure. Yeah. And you, of
Wow.
course. Krista is amazing, by the way. I love them all.
Just awesome, Tyler. Just thank you. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've seen Nicole in there. She's been through just like every step of the way, helping you with some wins. So
Mm,
let's talk about some wins. I know you got some pretty incredible wins, and I'd love to hear that because I remember kind of peeking in that chat, and I saw Nicole was really guiding you through stuff and really working on this. So
yeah.
share a little bit about that big first win.
Yes, so my big first win was actually graduating. It was going to my graduation, which I did not like. When I got the invitation a couple months before this program, I was like, I can't even walk. Like, I'm not going. I have to dress up. Like, I have to see people. That's a big no. And when I got on in the program, I was like, hang on, maybe I could go because obviously it's a big thing for me. I worked really hard for it and I really wanted to go, but I just obviously my I couldn't. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. And so Nicole helped me like with my walking. Like we started off baby steps, like let's stand and get used to standing and then walking. And we just built it up like really slowly. And on the day, like I was so nervous before, like my muscles were shutting down. Like putting on my makeup, I had to like hold my hand and like pound it in. It was just, I was like, I'm not doing this. But I got there and I messaged Nicole, I was like, I'm just about to walk on stage. And I did it. Like I did the full thing. I was like walking field. It was a long walk. I was walking fields. I got to walk on stage. It was like I was crying like the whole time. My whole family were like so shocked that I could even do that. And that day I was like, okay, I'm gonna get better. Like if I could do that, like it was only like 3-4 weeks into the program. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get better. Like that was wild. And I even went to like out to a restaurant for lunch, and I just felt good. Like I actually like it was the first day. I was like, hang on, my symptoms are here, but I just bring them along with me, and I can still do life. And I know how to respond well. And since then, just the wins have gone up as well. Like I even went to a wedding and with loud music, I was put right next to the speaker and I was jamming. Like I was, I was having fun. Again, with the symptoms, but I know how to respond well. I know how to balance it out. And even just, I can drive again. So great. I have my independence. Like I haven't been able to go in the sun for like 2 years. And like I have been in the sun every day because it's coming up to summer now. And in the pool, I can go in the pool, I can walk around my house. Basically, I'm able to leave the house like 4 or 5 times a week now. Still with symptoms, but I know like I feel like what's happened is that my capacity has increased but my symptoms have stayed the same, which I'm happy with for sure. Like I know how to manage them. I'm not as scared of my symptoms as before. But yeah, like I even had my Italian family come over and I had to go out to dinner with them like every night for like a week. And it was a lot, but like it was, I was just so like my whole family is like, oh my God, she's better. And I'm like, just wait, I'm getting there. But like, they're like, let's go do this and this and this. And I'm like, hang on, just hold your horses. I'm nearly there. So, yeah, that's a few of the wins. But yeah.
Just a little sample. Oh my gosh, Tyler, it's
Yeah,
just been so cool. You just took this material, you just took it and internalized it, and I can just see you're in
yeah,
that upward spiral that we talk about. So just huge. So those were some of the like incredible, amazing physical wins.
yeah,
What would you say maybe are some of the maybe more mindset wins or even more emotional wins too?
yeah,
Because that's such an interesting part of recovery. I didn't really ever think about that part until I found CFS recovery.
yeah.
So
Well, that's my favorite bit, honestly. Like I have my personality back, like for sure, which I like I'm bubbly again. I can smile. Emotionally, I'm so much more stable. I was very up and down emotionally, very depressed, very anxious, just the emotions were running everywhere. And I guess like now I know how to process emotions and I know what they are and that they just need to move through. And I still get emotional APs, but they're actually my favorite APs, I must say. I know. It's a big statement, I know, but I was speaking to Nicole and I was like, you know what? Like sometimes depression is a bit fun. Like it's nice to like, feel like I don't care. But like because it moves through so quick because I know how to handle it and I'm not scared of it. I'm just like, oh, here's depression, oh, here's anxiety. Like it's just
yeah.
it's amazing. And before that, I would grab onto them, hold them, analyze them, make them me, like it would be my personality. But now I'm just like, let them go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. And this is such an important concept that I don't know, I didn't it just didn't I don't know, it didn't connect for me, right? But of course,
Yeah.
our nervous system and our emotions, those are not things that you separate, and so emotions can be symptoms,
Yeah.
and to just recognize that, and I love the way you said that, like, you don't, like, take them on, you don't take them personally as part of your
Yeah.
identity. It's
Mhm.
more like the weather that can come and go, it doesn't have to define you, so that's just really
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
know it will pass now. Like, I always got stuck in those heavy emotions for days, weeks, but now they go through so quickly because I just allow them and I feel them and I don't attach the stories. And again, they're like the funnest AP because like they go in like 2 minutes. I'm like, damn it, that went too quick. Then it's another symptom. So yeah.
You're responding too well, they just aren't even sticking around, you can't even get them to go.
Like,
That's
let me
awesome.
give you a physical symptom or like a mental symptom. I'm like, ah, fine. Yeah.
Well, in everything that you've learned, it sounds like you've learned just so much about some of those old pathways and patterns in your life that were there, some of those old survival mechanisms in your life.
Mm.
You've learned so much about how to process your emotions in a much more balanced and healthy way. Just there's tons of stuff. What would you say if you had to what would you say are maybe some of the top 3 golden nuggets or things that really stood out that were like those moments where you're like, that makes sense, that clicks?
Yeah. Well, I guess my top thing that I did was just like dig in. like like you're in the trenches, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's heavy. You don't know if you're going forward, back, left, right. But with CFS recovery, you have the map. The only way through it is through it. And
Mhm.
you know you're gonna get out because you have the map, but I just felt everything. And I felt every symptom. I dug in, got messy, and I guess that's really the way I got through is a big
Yeah,
tip, I think, is just to put your head down, feel it all. It's freaking scary. It's not fun. But the best thing is that you have the map, and I'm just like listening to the coaches, taking on like learning about all the concepts and doing it rather than just thinking about it. I kind of got stuck in that. Like I'd always conceptualize the concepts and think overanalyze the concepts if I was doing it right. But then instead of actually just doing it and
yeah.
responding well. So yeah, I think that's a little bit of
I
a
think
goal.
that's huge. I
Yeah.
think that's huge. I think that's a great golden nugget. I think that's important, right? We can go and there's a phase, right, like we talked about, where you wanna learn about your nervous system, right? But if you're stuck just, like, intellectualizing it and you're just in that knowledge acquisition phase, I spent a really long time there myself, just I thought I
Yeah.
needed to learn more, consume more
Yeah.
and more, get all the
Yeah.
books on all the things,
Yeah.
and all that learning was there was a point that that was helpful, but then we need implementation, right? We need to take that action in the right doses, in these right amounts with guidance,
Yeah.
right?
And
But
it's
yeah,
scary. Yeah. It's scary to do it, like, because it's so foreign to what you have been doing previously that taking on the new concepts and like responding well to your first couple symptoms is like, what am I doing? Like, it's scary. It's like, this doesn't feel safe. So I just dug in, learnt the concepts, and I just did it. And I didn't think about it too much. And I think that was a big thing for me.
yeah, absolutely. That sense of safety, right? Your nervous system sensed that like you're just in. This was the answer. There wasn't second guessing, a lot of self-doubt. It was just like 3-foot world, like taking
Yeah.
that, just being
Yeah.
in your bubble and just taking that next step.
Yeah.
So just incredible, Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, let's say you could go back in time and yourself now, as you're becoming that 2.0 version of yourself, could go back to yourself when you were in one of those really low points and one of those really big crashes. What's something you would want to tell Tyler then from Tyler now?
Yeah, well, that's actually something I did. So when I was in the trenches, I was actually gonna tell tell this advice. I forgot about it. But when I was in the trenches, like when I was nursing, I used to do that movie thing where like I'd go hide in the bathroom just to sit down because obviously they stole my chair. They would hide it, so I'd have to go sit down to rest my heart because it was like 200. And I'd go in there and I was just obviously so scared. But I didn't think I was gonna even survive. Like I just it was almost like knowing I was like, I'm gonna die. Like this is like my last couple weeks. But what I did was I actually just envisioned that future self who knew all the answers, who was okay, just standing there and being like, Tyler, like, you're okay. You're going to get through it. Like, just keep going. That's all. And so now that I'm actually that version of myself, I go back to her in the bathroom and I tell her, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. And I feel like it's just like a comfort thing. And like, I don't know, it's just like that was like knowing that when I was sitting there, that my actual future version was telling me that. Just, yeah, that's, I guess, a big tip I would give, just envisioning that, you know.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you found that for yourself and were able to hold on to that and hold on to that hope. And I think that's been such a theme that you've shared in your journey so far, is that you managed to hold on to that thread of hope and
Yeah.
just keep keep going, keep staying the course. And so thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd want to share, like with anybody who's listening in, anybody who's in the trenches themselves, or with the team, or just the community?
When I used to watch the recovery videos, I I would be like, I kind of envisioned myself like I was like, I wonder if I could be doing a recovery video. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out.
That's
Um,
okay. That's okay. We can talk it through a little bit. So it's sort of like, I mean, just what you shared about your future self and then like going back to your past self now, that was incredible.
yeah,
And then maybe there's some of that where it's almost like it's, I guess how I would think about it, it's almost like it was a North Star. Like you
yeah,
would listen in and somehow you would have that, I guess it's hope again, or just that knowing that you were going to be there on that other side of it eventually. You just really were able to hold on to that.
yeah. Okay, so another golden nugget advice that I did when I go back to my past self was when I watched the recovery videos when I was sick in the trenches, and I I guess like watching them, I still like I was just like, will that be me? Like I didn't believe that that could be me. And I'd always question myself like, oh, but that's them, like can I do that, like can I brain retrain, will it work for me, because obviously I had a lot of doubt. I tried a lot and I just didn't believe that this could work. I hoped it could. But then now actually being here and doing an interview is like the biggest the biggest win I think ever, to be sitting here. And I don't know, I hope that just gives someone hope that like you watching the video right now, like this will be you and you can do it. Like you will get through it. You like you have so much support, and the freaking community. I need to talk about being in the community. When I first joined, I was like, I feel like everyone's like, okay, like, do we just like Zoom call and like cry and like talk about our feelings? But now I can't miss one. Like, I literally hate missing them because I'm like, all your questions get answered by the time, like, like when you put your hand up to ask a question, it's already answered. And watching people go through the exact same thing as you and watching how they I guess respond well, and you know, you see them in like one week they're in an AP, the next week they're like surfing and doing these massive huge things. It's like a mirror effect. It's like, whoa, like that's what I'm doing, and like that's me. And I don't know, it's just like being with the community, like, oh, it's amazing. And you meet amazing friends. I've met amazing friends. And yeah, I can't miss one Zoom because it's just so good.
It's amazing, and it's funny for me in my own journey, I had so much resistance to the group aspect, the community aspect, and it
Yeah,
became the absolute highlight, and I'm thinking of you to go
yeah,
from that place where you were, you feel alone, you feel like, I don't know, I felt like trapped on this
yeah,
deserted CFS nervous
yes,
system island with
yeah,
nobody who understood what I was going through,
yeah,
and to go from that sense of isolation
yeah,
to that sense of community where you don't even have to explain it. And like you said, someone else asks a question before you, it already informs and
yeah,
answers or helps with your
yeah.
question. Like that, just not feeling alone, that sense of community. And if we think about it in that nervous system framework, what a sense of safety and co-regulation to be in such a group.
Exactly. And you know what it reminds me of? I did high school in COVID times, like we had to Zoom a lot. And when you stay home, like in a quarantine, it felt okay because everyone else was staying home. Like everyone else was going through the exact same thing. So you felt like, it's okay. And when like going through like CFS and being sick alone, and the whole world keeps on continuing like normal, it's so nice to have a community to relate to and be in with. Like, just do it together because it just, it feels okay like to be at home all the time and to go through what we're going through and to, yeah, I don't know. It's more like a family, honestly. It really is. So, yeah.
I couldn't agree more. It's a special place. It feels like family. It feels like coming home. I don't know. And I say it on the calls, and I think it's true that those of us who go through this journey are just by far the strongest people I've ever met. Just amazing people. So thank you
Yes.
so much for that perspective.
And it's so positive as well. Like there's no negative. Like it's just it's amazing. Yeah. Let's add
Well,
that.
thank you. Thank you.
You can cut that out if you want. I don't
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm keeping it all. I'm keeping it all. Just
know.
amazing, Tyler. Isn't it wild though how you go from being resistant to it and then it ends up being like this unexpected lifeline? Like
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the friends I've made, like it's just so nice to like message and like go through it like, oh, I have this symptom and it's like, oh, like yes, like same. And I'm like, what? It's just so nice to not be alone anymore and to give each other advice and watch each other like grow through it and get back to normal life. Like I feel like a proud mother. Like I'm not a mum, but like when someone has a win, I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm so proud of you. So yeah, it's so positive. I love it.
it blows me away too, just to see how everybody lifts each other up. I mean, I just getting to lead the calls and be on some of those calls and just seeing the chat with every win. I
Yes.
mean, just
Yeah.
the
I
support.
know. It's so fun. I love it.
And I want to say too, it's not just the wins where that there's that outpouring of support. It's in the adjustment periods too, right? I mean, every time I'm like, oh my gosh, the care, the kindness, the compassion that comes through
Yeah.
that screen. It's like it's
Yeah.
wild.
Everyone just jumps on to help you. Like it's just so nice. So yeah, you're never alone. Like once you're in the community, like you're good. You've got them in your pocket. Like I feel just like whenever like I'm doing things, like I've always got like my safety on my phone. Like I've always got people who know exactly what I'm going through because this world is still learning what we're going through. So it's so nice to have a community just in your pocket that, is right there to support you within a couple minutes. So, yeah.
As we wrap up this session of Recovery Voices, I hope that our conversation today just sparked some hope or maybe resonated for someone who's listening in. And just know, Tyler and I, we've been through it. We have been in your shoes if you're listening in. We know what it's like to deal with these intense and like really often like pretty debilitating, disabling symptoms, right?
Mhm.
And we know you can get your life back along with these hundreds of other people that are in this incredible community in CFS recovery. So we have all these communities now. So that's available. And not to mention the many people that are recovering without these communities too, right? Just from free resources.
Yeah.
So, lastly, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below, maybe share one of your biggest takeaways. There were so many golden nuggets in this that Tyler shared, so maybe highlight one that stood out or just something that resonated with your own experience.
Yeah.
And of course, if you did feel like you needed a little bit more help on your recovery journey, we'll put a link down below so you can apply and chat with one of our team members to see if CFS recovery is a good fit. All right. And always remember that you are a thriver. You're just one mind shift away from a life of thriving health.
Everyone, I've always wanted to say this. So please like, subscribe, and comment.
Let's say that CFS recovery is absolutely the real deal.
I actually felt like somebody had an answer, like somebody explained what was going on and it all clicked.